Well, it's morning time, and here we go again. The never-ending story. Look at this girl. Subdominant behavior. This is what's meant by that. Subdominant behavior. You can actually see it. But I want to talk to you about a dog. Where's this girl going? Come on. Come on. Come on. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. They don't know. It's just that the gate is opening and I gotta go. That's all they know. That's all they know. It's happening. You produce this feeling in me, and because of that, I'm going to be like this, and I'm going to do that. And I get that, with a compulsive creature. She wants to get in here and taunt this girl because she's attracted to her energy. But also they know that the wolf eats a little different food, and so she's in there trying to get what's left of that delicious meal. But I want to talk about, look at this girl, behaviors. Behaviors of dogs, and behaviors of people, and how we sometimes don't understand, or most times don't understand the behavior of dogs, like this dominant behavior here. And then we've got the behavior of people that even people don't understand about each other. I'm included. I include that myself in that, because there have been things that I said, man, why did I do that? And I know that it's because of some emotional thing that has taken place that makes me feel and do the things that I do. The problem with having dogs that eat different food, it comes out in the stool. And, when you got a bunch of dogs together, they are competitive with each other, with everything. Yes, even feces. And so in understanding that a compulsive creature in packs will have behaviors like that helps to ease some of my tension. What am I talking about? Talking about understanding. Understanding of something. Ray Charles, famous songwriter and composer and what have you, wrote a song once. It says, understanding is the best thing in the world between a boy and a girl. I recommend everyone listen to that song and apply it to their dogs. It's all about understanding. It's not about love. Love got them out of the shelter. Love got them in your home. But it's not love that's going to keep them there, because I've seen many people who have loved their dogs and ended up giving them up because of the lack of understanding. Understanding is the best thing in the world. More than love. Because with understanding, you can love. But you can love without understanding, and it won't last. And so I tell people, what's love got to do with it? Okay, the reason I'm even talking about this is that I got a call of a dog that I had seen not long ago that came in for people and dog aggression. And so I evaluated this dog, and the dog got adopted. And before the dog was passed off to the adopters, they had been watching my video, and I explained to them, I said, look, I know you work with dogs, and I could be preaching to the choir, but I've just got to tell you this because this dog came to me. I put my hands on it. I've laid hands on this dog, so I need to tell you what I don't want you to do. Not what I want you to do, what I don't want you to do. Okay? And when I finish ranting on the way I do, the person was quiet. And they said, no, I've watched your videos. And I said, okay, fair enough. And so maybe a few weeks later, I get this call that this dog is biting certain parts of the body which are related to Schutzhund training. And what should we do? Now, before this call, I got some photographs of this dog laying in the bed or laying on top of the person, and them rubbing them up, like a person would lay on top of another person, and hugging and kissing, and is, very proud, as if to say, see, she's not bad. He's okay. All he needed was love. I see these pictures all the time. My grandfather used to say something. He said, the old folks used to say, when someone in the family would complain about their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and he would say, you don't call me when you're kissing, don't call me when you're fighting. I apply that to the dogs that I work with and the people. I like those kissy, lovey things, but I know you're going to go there. I know you're going to do that. I know that's possible with your dogs, and I know that's the purpose of having the dogs. I get that, But sometimes I see them, it's almost like a I see, all this dog needed was love. And then shortly after I get that call about that horrible thing that's taking place, and I know right then you did not understand when you were watching my videos, nor could you hear me at your stage, because I'm reading from a later page, and you just didn't believe it. And I know why, because the reason you're doing it is to get something that you need out of this relationship. How many times has that happened with people? I've heard men as well as women say, look, I did this for you and I bought that for you and blah, 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 and you're not. And the person says, I didn't ask for that. That's what you wanted to give me. But I just wanted to sit on the couch with my sweats on and watch a movie. Relax, maybe have a glass of wine with you. That's happiness. Not all of these things. And this is actually the same way with the dog. The dog doesn't know what it doesn't know. It only knows what you tell it. But it knows completely what you tell it when it's emotional. It's the emotional thing. That drive that makes you hug them, kiss them, and all of that. I would just want someone show me a video, send a video of you disciplining and dominating your dog, and then afterwards show me the picture of them laying on your chest in the bed or on the couch eating popcorn or whatever and doing the lovey-dovey stuff. Show me that. Because when you show me the lovey-dovey first, and then later you call me up and tell me about the negative side of things, well, it just doesn't sit so well in my heart, Look, I love these dogs just as much as anyone else. I mean, it's just a whole different kind of love, It's the love that we have for our dogs and for other people, and then it's just the love of dogs, the love of a creature that can give unconditional love to me. And I find it difficult to give to someone else. I'm all about that type of creature, to understand where they come from, what they're all about. But we got to give them. This is a relationship. I need you to understand. This is a relationship. And for a relationship to work, we have to be able to give to the one we love what they need, and we need to get back what we need. But when it's a one-sided thing, which is what we do with our dogs, we expect for the dog to understand why we're doing what we're doing, that I love you, but then we won't give them the kind of love and structures that they need to make them balance. And so it's a one-sided relationship. We need to tell it all. We need to tell the truth. We need to say how this works. This is how I got to where I am today with dogs. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. I used to love motorcycles. I still do. And I was the type of person that would get on a motorcycle with a backpack and a rolled up sleeping bag and ride out to Malibu and sleep under the stars. I would leave Friday evening and I'd stay there Saturday, Sunday, come back Sunday evening, and then go to work. I mean, that's how much I loved the nature. And I did it all the time. I remember the motorcycle broke down once because it was an old Honda, I think it was, put together with different parts. And I remember I said, you know, my gosh, man, I want to get this, another motorcycle, a brand new motorcycle, a fabulous motorcycle, a motorcycle that everyone would love, you know, and that I love it too. And, but how am I going to do it? Where am I going to get the money from to do this? I just started off in rescue, and, you know, my start in rescue was very, very primitive. I'll tell you one day how it all happened. It wasn't like most people think. It wasn't that, you know, I just opened up and bam, I started doing this thing, making money. It was a long transition. But I remember I wanted this motorcycle and I was trying to figure out how to get it. And I had a little job. And I was working in the dental field. And so I'll tell you that story one day. But I decided, how am I going to get this motorcycle? I just started in the rescue, doing two things, and I remember, well, the only way that I can get it back then with the price, I'm eating 3 days a week, 3 times a day, and then snacks. If I don't eat in the morning, I can save $10. If I don't in the evening, I can save $10. Just eat in the afternoons, I can save $20 a day. So I'm counting up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe $100 a week I could save for a few months, right? And then I'll have the money to put down on this motorcycle. And that's what I did. I didn't eat dinner and I didn't eat breakfast. I sacrificed to get what I wanted. And I remember the first time I rode up, I used to go and see people with their dogs. I used to go to their homes. And I drove up to a rescue organization that I had been working with. And I got off the motorcycle and I came to see what was going on. And everyone was looking at the motorcycle. And I was proud that they were looking at it because it was something that I wanted, that I had sacrificed for. And as I was leaving, I put my helmet on and I can hear someone say, I think we're paying him too much money. Look at what he's driving. A name brand motorcycle, you know? And at that moment, it changed things for me because I said to myself, oh my gosh, they don't know what I sacrificed for this. To have this motorcycle. I sacrificed going without eating just to get this thing, but they don't know that. And so at that moment, I thought to myself, you have to let people know, tell them the truth about what's happening and how to get from here to there. I'm talking about the dogs now. Just lay it out for them. And I began to lay it out for them and tell them why you shouldn't do this and why you should do this and why dogs do this. And I had people that when I started to do that began to work for me. They said, why do you tell people everything? You just give it all to them. And it was because of that day with the motorcycle. They don't know what I sacrificed. They only see what's in front of them. And in their minds, wow, I know that's an expensive motorcycle. They don't know I didn't pay for it. I just put down for it. But they're thinking, wow, he's making, we're paying him this money. And he used to drive this other motorcycle. And now he's driving this. And we're paying him too much money. And I said, you know what? I should have let them know right then when I heard that. Took my helmet off and said, look, I just wanted to say something to you. I'm so proud of this motorcycle, but I went without eating for this thing. I sacrificed for this. And I didn't, but I do it with the dogs now. I tell people, this is why you hear all the things that you hear me say, you know. And people may say blah, 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 or whatever, but you know what? This foundation here is strong. I've tested it, front, back, and 3 sides flat. I've talked to people who have been working with dogs that are older than I have been alive, and they cannot talk this down. This is real, man. And I tell people every chance I get, or whenever I can remember, when the time is right, I give you the truth. I sacrifice for this knowledge. Sometimes people will say to me, Brandon, what you're asking me to do is so simple, but it works. And I'll say it took many years to learn this simplicity. To look back at what I had gone through. Oh my gosh. The fights. All of the problems that I went through to learn what I'm giving to you. And I'm giving you just a fraction. But even the fraction can be overwhelming sometimes. It can be overwhelming. But I sacrificed for this. I submitted myself to this. You know? And when I look at these dogs and I look at the things that I want, and you say, okay, I want this and I want that, and I'm going to go for it. And you think that, okay, when you get there, oh my gosh, okay, if I could just do this, this is going to work. And you get there and you realize that's not it. The pursuit of happiness and physical things and materialistic things, that's not it. I learned it's inside. I got more understanding and felt more love when I just said the reality of things. I said what I felt, you know, and I tell people what I feel about these magnificent creatures. And I don't let people get away with stuff anymore when it pertains to me. Not that I'm combative with them, but I just let them know, you know. Like I would have said to that person, oh my gosh, you know, thank you so much. I'm so proud to have this motorcycle, but I went without eating for this thing. And they probably would have been shocked to even hear me say that. But I'm talking about things that I've done, man. I've slept in the back of my car. I used to do this kind of thing in a car. I work with dogs in a car, man. Slept in the car. I don't have no shame about what I have sacrificed for what it is that I do today. I've learned so much in this business. I have spent a lot of money in this business. I have used every product that was on the market to get a better control of my dog. And that's it. It was the control that I was trying to get, just like everybody else. How do I get from control, okay? What do you want to do? How do I get from control, the physical control, to the mental control? See, that's the key. That's the key, and I didn't even know it. At the time, I didn't know that it was about the mental. I thought it was about the physical. And so I bought every product on the market. I kid you not, man. I bet, and I'm going to sit down one day and count, with all the products that are out there, prong collars, shock collars, electronic collars, perimeter training, you name it, I bought it. If it whistled, I had it. If it stung, I had it. If it shocked, I had it. If it vibrated, I had it. If it lit up, I had it. I had it. Okay? I must have spent over $30,000, I kid you not, in the past with electronic collars. See, now they're different. They're a couple of $100. Back then, oh, they were $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You know? I bought all kinds of electronic collars and bark collars and, just $30,000 in that. I'm not including choke chains and, all these things, not even including all that. to get to a point where I say to myself, no longer will I use these things, to go backwards. You see, it was a difference between what I was feeling in my heart and what I was doing with my hand, with the shock collar and with the prong collar. And it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I was feeling. And I'm not going to get all the way into it right now, but I don't use those things anymore. There have been many, many years I don't. In fact, some of my dogs don't have collars on them. And they don't have collars not because I take them off. They take them off of each other. Or a dog that has a collar on, they came here with a collar on. But if it gets torn off, then it never gets back on. I don't put it back on. It's just there. You know, things are just happening. But what I was feeling in my heart and what I was doing with my hands did not match. Didn't make me feel good. What I was after was understanding. But what I was going for was control. And that's what we do as human beings. We want to control this beautiful creature. And now all I want to do is understand it. And that's why I say with the song, understanding is the best thing in the world, because with understanding, you know how to love. And when you know how to love, it radiates out of you, and then it radiates back from the one that you're loving, and you're successful. You see? It's from the inside out, not the outside in. Oh my gosh, man. All of these products, don't think I don't know. You know, some trainers say, oh, does he really know how to use these things? Does he know that this is important, that you have to have a prong collar, or you got to control their energy with, you know, balls and all those kinds of things? Look, and again, I've spent so much money doing all the things that everyone else has done, and then I got there, and you know what I said? That's not it. That's not it. And I had to let it go. I said, that's not it. And then I began to pay attention. And I said, if that's not it, Brandon, then where is it? Where is it? And just like with people, just like with myself, when I get something like that motorcycle, even though I got it, I was happy for it that I got it, but it didn't really make me happy. That wasn't it. And you know where it was? Inside. The happiness was inside of me. And so I try to search within inside now. And then I said, well, if that works with me, then maybe that's the key with dogs. Can I work with them from the inside out? Can I hormonally manipulate them to feel what I want them to feel? And then in feeling what I want them to feel, let me be honest, can I just tell them what I don't like? What's making my life miserable and what's going to make their life miserable? And when I found out that, yes, that's something that I could do, it changed my life. And so I'm going to be talking more about these products individually as we go along, because we have become brainwashed. We got these products to control our dogs, and yep, we end up finding that we're controlled by these very things because we can't let them go. So they become a handicap for us. We are a slave to them, and the dog is a slave to the product. So we're going to talk about those things, all of these things that are out there, even the headgear. You know, because I'm going to tell you, once I learned all this stuff, I couldn't stop. I kept going, and I took it to my horses, and I took the bit out of their mouth, and took their head tie down off, and took the saddle off, man, and started riding bareback, and got a chance to feel what it's like to feel that heat underneath my legs, and wrap my legs around those muscles and ride him. You're so close to him that you can feel what he feels like from the inside out. And it just doesn't stop. You just keep going on. Now, I'm older now. There are a lot of things I don't do now that I did before. I mean, there is a limit to the limit before the limit. Now I'll say, okay, I'm going to do this and do that. Well, before I go all out. And, you know, you end up hurting yourself with things that you do because that's just how it works. Look at this stalking here. This is the games that they play, the stalking game. They're separated by where they go to the bathroom. You see in the middle where the urine and the feces like just cleaned up, but I haven't washed down. That is the barrier between the two of them that they have to cross. These are scents. And what happens determines, now she's come and they've messed it up, so they're going to cross that boundary. What was I saying? These dogs catch my attention. And let's see here. I don't know. I took everything off my horses, and I began to ride them in a way that made me feel closer to them, and throw a dog leash around his neck and take everything off, and just to ride him like that. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a problem or get hurt when you're trying to do these things. I mean, that's how you learn. But there is a limit before the limit, you know? Like now, I don't go all out. I stop before that. And I'll say to myself, I don't have to go that far, because all the knowledge and expertise that I have now that came before this new limit, I know that if I apply it, I can make it there. But is it necessary to go that distance with all the knowledge that you have, Brandon? No. It's like a scientist, you know. They don't have to get blown up to know what it's like to be blown up. They've seen enough people blown up. And that's how I live my life now, you know. My father used to tell me that a man must know his limitations. Not that he should not have them, because in order to know them, you have to experience them. But once you have, you don't have to go all out. And I've learned so much with these magnificent creatures that it's never boring. Look at this girl. She's in an area she's never been before. She got in. She tried to get out, but she kind of slipped. I was just cleaning the pool out, and she may even be stuck. Let's see if she wants some assistance in getting out. Does she? These other guys don't knock me in as I reach over to grab her. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, see, too many dogs here. They're going to get involved with it, so I have to get her out another way, or she has to figure out how to get out. So we got time. I'll let her. Come on. Let's see if the energy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Pole vault. Come on. Come on, babe. See if she can do it. Because with me reaching back, they're going to jump on my back, and we're both going to be in there. Or when she comes out, they're going to grab her, you know, because she's acting like prey. So we'll try it again. Let me see. I've done this many times with dogs. I'll get, let me, no. All right, we'll wait. I'll get a leash and get her out. But anyway, we'll continue with these stories, you know, such stories. They're so important to everything that I've done in life and everything that I'm going to do. And I'm just giving them to people who are willing to listen and understand. We're going to be talking about this girl right here. She's been so quiet ever since she got in. Now I'm going to take her out, and I'm going to see how she is. I haven't really heard her bark since she came in. She barked for about 1 or 2 days, and then all of a sudden, radio silence. So she's doing quite well with the other dogs. So we'll continue.